This is my trip to the Natural History Museum at the Smithsonian for PHS 113, Intro to Physical Geology. So here we have an example of some interstellar diamond dust. This particular material is actually older than the entire solar system, which you can read about here in greater detail. Here's a picture of myself, that's me, Aaron, and my daughter, Nadia. She slept through most of the exhibit. She woke up at the end in the mining section. This is the nameplate for the Martian meteorite that I was touching in the last photo. Here's the Hope Diamond, of course. There's a video in the next, in part 2, there's a video of that rotating, so you can see the sparkling on the facets. And this was I think this is out of sequence. That video, that image comes later. And here's the Whittlespot Graph Diamond. I think in many ways it's actually very comparable to the Hope Diamond, but there were probably 2 people by the Whittlesbach and probably 100 gaggled around the Hope Diamond. Here is a very large example of topaz. I think it's 20,000 carats. And I believe that's quartz on the left there. And it's also quartz, I believe. This talks about how many atoms are in a given size. I think it's about 77 trillion, it says there, in a square, about 1.5 inches square. This here is danburite from Mexico. And that is another quartz. That's a smoky citrine. It's about 52 kilograms. Next up here is a scolecite with what appears to be a bladed habit, I think. And here we have some really good examples of pyrite. Very large, very clear faces. And again, pyrite here just showing how reflective and metallic the luster is. I don't recall what this one was. Here's a wolfenite with mimetite, looks like. It's pretty interesting. It seems like things with lead in them have really strong colors. Looks like vanadinite. With romanticite. Again with lead. See the PB5, that's 5 lead atoms. It just seems interesting to me. It seems like things with lead, like I said, have really strong colors. That, I believe, was a large quartz or amethyst. That's my wife, Tara, right there, carrying all the luggage. We have galena here. in the middle, that's lead sulfide, the primary ore of lead, with rhodochrosite. Again, pyrite. I was just amazed by this example of pyrite. Almost seems like someone made that. Next up, we have some really colorful examples, with sulfur there in the middle being one of my favorites. Just the array of colors is just amazing to me. The pictures in the book just can do no justice to these minerals seen in person. Even these pictures are nothing compared to how they really look. That's dioptase there. Up next, we have the infamous asbestos. A very, very fine example of the fibrous nature of the mineral itself in its natural form. Really nice examples of quartz, both in its crystalline state and also in gem state, having been cut and polished. Also, again, just many images of quartz in various colors and configurations. And the next one here is just an amazing geode. It was about, I think, maybe 2.5 or 3 feet long. It's a large cylindrically shaped geode. There you can see the hole in the end of it, and that little black tube coming up, I believe, is a light. Here's some smithsonite. Just one of the most incredible greens I've ever seen. And I was really surprised to see that this one here is also quartz. And sulfur again. Just pure sulfur. This one I thought was really fascinating. It's a spherically cut and polished quartz again, I believe, but inside you can see the echoes of the past crystal shapes as it grew. And then on the right, of course, is an example to show you the crystal habit of the mineral itself. And gypsum, that's of course wallboard, drywall, used in plaster, etc. And this one, millerite, this is my all-time, I think, favorite from this entire class. Here's calcite. I'm not sure what geotite is, though. Quartz again, I didn't realize how much quartz there was there. There was a lot. Next up we have azurite. And aragonite with geodite, I believe. Up next. Geothite. And up next is also aragonite, but completely different. The shape, anyway. And here's another gypsum. In several different forms in the one picture. Looks kind of like a hat. The banded colors in that image there are the result of the concentrations of the solution that form the crystal changing. And there you see the very, very complex chemical or the atomic structure. There's my wife, Tara, and Nadia, our daughter.